Piss off, you bloody pikers.
G'day everyone, this is NickBro101 here, and today we're gonna be talking about the brand new Sydney Sleeper. In the recent Blue Moon update, some weapons have been rebalanced to make them more appealing for both casual and competitive play, of which the Sydney Sleeper is one of those weapons. Let's first quickly go over what has been changed. Many of the stats stay the same though. It still charges 25% faster and applies Jarate on the people you hit at the cost of no headshots, and it still extinguishes people. The big issue of the old Sleeper though was the mechanic of having a cloud of Jarate upon headshots and fully charged body shots. This caused the Sleeper to be able to Jarate an entire team at long range for just one shot, forcing them to fall back because at high levels of play, coordinated teams could easily follow up on the effect. This mechanic has been removed and replaced with a new ability nicknamed Nature's Call. This causes headshots to always mini-crit, and the recharge of your Jarate will be reduced by 1 second. Yeah, this thing sort of headshots now, but people will still call you a body-shotting scrub. The maximum duration of the Jarate also has been reduced to 5 seconds instead of 8. While I do feel like this weapon is balanced now, long-range Jarate is still pretty problematic at high levels of play, and I am not experienced enough with that scene to make a proper judgment. So, now that we know what this weapon does, what's the point of it? This weapon's orientated towards a more passive and supportive playstyle than the other rifles. With this weapon, your main job is to tag the bulky targets so that your team can easily finish them off. You can also try to cover as many people as possible, but this will come at the cost of having only 2 seconds of Jarate on your target. If you find a teammate fighting an enemy, then you can easily help him out by tagging the enemy with a quick shot of your rifle. Because the main focus of this weapon is landing body shots, this means that your aim will be a lot more consistent, as the shots are easier to make. The downside of this weapon though is that your raw power will be lackluster, since you don't deal critical damage upon headshots. While the Sydney Sleeper might heavily weaken the opponent, the other rifles probably could have just outright killed him, not giving him a single chance to flee. The lower damage also causes the user to be forced to scope in for a longer period of time, which comes with the downside of being tunnel visioned. Be sure to also watch out for enemy snipers while using this weapon. You can't really duel them since they'll just one-shot you while you don't even get the opportunity. When you have to kill an enemy sniper, be sure to use your cover and, if possible, reposition to catch a sniper off guard. As you can see, this weapon is heavily dependent on teamwork, as its main benefit is based on your team capitalizing on your effects, and the downsides make it much harder for you to rely on your own skills alone. This is why the new Nature's Call effect feels so great to use, even if it's technically weaker than the old effect. With Nature's Call, you get at least some form of extra damage upon headshots. On a no-charge headshot, you get 68 damage, and on a fully charged headshot, you get 203 damage. This means that you're able to one-shot everyone except the heavy if they aren't overhealed and with a fully charged shot. With the more passive playstyle and the faster charge rate of the Sleeper, you'll typically have a fairly high charge. If you're already a bit experienced with Sniper and you know how to measure the amount of damage you'll do based on the amount of charge you have, then you'll be surprised by how quickly the Sleeper can become lethal, thanks to both its faster charge rate and Nature's Call. The Sydney Sleeper isn't your only weapon though. You'll have a secondary and a melee weapon at your disposal, so let's talk about what weapons complement the Sleeper well. For your melee, you'd pretty much always want the Bushwhacker. When there are mini-crits involved, this weapon is a must-have, and with the Sleeper, this isn't any different. At close range, it's possible to get a quick body shot with your rifle, and if you're quick enough, then you can hit your opponent while he's still Jarate'd. This is a lot harder to do than with the other mini-crit based weapons Sniper has, but the option is still there. The downside of 20% extra damage vulnerability is only active when you have your melee out, so there isn't really any big downside. For your secondary, I have two recommendations. The Jarate is an obvious choice, since Nature's Call helps decreasing the Jarate's cooldown. A 1 second decrease per headshot isn't really amazing though, but every little bit helps. The Jarate will enforce your role as a support player, allowing you to both tag enemies at range with your rifle and tag groups of enemies up close with the jar. The SMG is also an excellent pick if you want to compensate for the limited self-defense. Just like the Bushwaka, you can quickly body shot your opponent and then switch to the SMG, which will now deal a lot more damage thanks to the Jarate. The Jarate does disappear quickly though, so only your first few shots will be buffed, but your enemy will probably already be weak. The SMG allows you to have self-defense at a bit longer of a range, making the initial body shot a bit easier. So, that is pretty much all I have to say about this rifle that literally pisses on people. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.